And now I'm in America, and now I have to figure it out. And something happens, and I'm like stuck there. And I don't have a job now. I have to look for a job, and I have to figure it out because I'm paying for home, black tax to send money home. And I'm living in this apartment with my roommate, which I have to pay rent for. And now I don't have that income that I was getting on a monthly basis. So what do you do? This is where the hustle comes in of life. Your purpose is revealed in how much you are diligent and how much you don't give up. So at the time my car was broken, I didn't have a car, and I had to go back to the States because I was at home, and I went back with nothing. And I remember telling my roommate, look, we lived in Houston, and I said, I'm going to walk to go and look for a job. She's like, friend, you're really going to walk? It's like really hot outside. I was like, well, ek is 'n Suid-Afrikaner. Ons loop goedie. Wherever we must go, we will walk. We must walk, we will get there, right? So I walked. I went to all the surrounding shops looking for a job. First job I got was at a laundromat. Now, this is after the celebrity life. After I have recorded in the best studios, after I have stayed in the most amazing hotels. Sometimes life happens and you have no control over it, but how do you get back up from that? Okay? I want you to think about that. So I went, I got a job at the laundromat. I was getting $7.25 per hour. That was the hourly rate in America at the time, peanuts. But I was just happy to get a job. And thereafter, I started waitressing, and then I did a barista course. My friends hired me at their restaurant, and I became a barista. Now, imagine you've been a celebrity in your country, you've traveled the world. Now, you are sweeping the floors in the restaurant, serving the coffee, smiling for the customers, wondering why, Lord, what have I done wrong? Right? I just want to paint a picture for you today that it is important not to give up when you are in the midst of a difficult situation, because you have no idea what is on the other side, right? Of the good thing, of the bad thing. You have to persevere. Perseverance is a key component of our lives. And so I carried on, and then on top of it, my roommate was getting married, which was like, okay, my life is over now because now what's going to happen to me? Now we promised each other we're not going to leave each other, and then she got married, and then I was like, okay, this gives me like a break because now I'm going to leave. I decided to spend the rest of my visa in New York to pursue my acting career again. And guys, New York is no joke. Okay, you see the TV shows and you think like, wow, I'm gonna go to New York, and I'm gonna explore. I was broke. Guys, I had no money. I was trying to figure it out. I got a job as a waitress. I was waitressing and, selling chicken wings because there's a chicken wing box on every corner. And I was picking up shifts because every person in New York is a singer, actor, dancer. So, like, who's going to give you a shift when they're holding on to the jobs? So it's not as glamorous as it looks. People work 3 to 4 jobs in New York, right? So I was sleeping on my friend's mother's couch. Meanwhile, I've got a home here in South Africa. Now, you see how we chase the dream sometimes and we forget that we have good things. So I was sleeping on the couch, but I didn't have money to come home. So I'm like, okay, I need to find a job so I can build myself back up again. And so I did. And then eventually I was like, okay, this chasing the dream, because I didn't have a stag card because I'm South African. I didn't have a green card. So I couldn't work officially in New York. I was like, okay, if I'm going to work here, I'm going to have to come back because now my visa is aligned with the singing that I was doing. So I can't officially work here. But then I was like, okay, let me go find another job. So I ended up working at Amazon. Long story short, I ended up working at Amazon. Anybody know Amazon? Yes, you pack boxes and you pack the trucks. I started out packing the trucks. Hard labor, packing 40 to 70 pounds boxes, which means you have to pick up the box, Make sure that you have balance in your knees, be able to pick up the boxes and pack the truck. When I say a truck, I'm talking about the Coca-Cola trucks. Yes, you pack it from the back of it until the front of it. Until your shift is over, that's your job. That's what I did for 12 hours a day. I felt like God had forgotten me. So I was like, God, like, what have I done wrong? Like, man, like, I've done everything right. I've come here, like, in the right way. I came here doing everything that I thought I was supposed to do, and now I'm stuck here in the truck. But God was teaching me lessons in those moments that I didn't know I needed. I ended up liking my job so much. All I knew was entertainment prior to that. But I ended up learning so much at Amazon. I learned about the inbound and outbound of ShipDoc. I ended up understanding how systems work, something that I never thought of before because all I knew was how to sing, dance, and act. But here I was learning about inbound, receiving goods, learning how the trade works, learning how customer service works, learning how ownership works, because Amazon works on the principle of ownership, right? So if you take part in something, you guys are all here at Sci-Bono. So if you take ownership of your part here, you won't just leave a piece of paper on the floor when you see it, because somebody else's job is to pick it up. When you take ownership, you take pride in the fact that I'm a part of this establishment, so I make it better. At Amazon, they thrive on the fact that we are all co-owners of this company. So in order for us to be co-owners, you get shares. That's like your driving force, right? You get a share, and then you're like, man, like at the end of this, my shares are going to vest, and like in 2 years' time, I can have a share. I'm a shareholder of the company. So if you think about that about your own life, how are you participating in your studies? Are you taking ownership? Are you actually saying, man, like, this is my life. I'm the business. This is going to be my future. And I need to make sure that I succeed. Right? That's what hustling is about. This is coming to the end because I think my 10 minutes are up, right? This is where hustling comes in. Hustling is working hard. Well, there's hustling to hustle somebody out of their money. That's not the hustling we're discussing, guys, okay? We're not talking about the bad hustling. We're talking about hustling to achieve something good. I didn't even look at my notes. Okay. I cried by it. So hustling, it says try hard to earn money or to gain advantage from a situation. It forces you to hustle and you can earn money. So how are you taking ownership of this time here? You have an opportunity to learn something new, to learn a skill, to learn something that has been offered to you to learn. Are you making the most of it? Are you growing? Are you, as they say in the business world, are you upskilling yourself to learn another trade? Are you making the most of it, or are you just like, yeah, I gotta go to class today. Yeah, what's up, guys? What is your attitude? Because none of the teachers that are helping you and none of the facilitators that are here to assist you are going to be with you when you leave here. So are you taking yourself seriously as the business? All of us here are independent contractors, right? When you leave here, you'll be an independent contractor until you get a job, which means that you'll be hired for a job or for a purpose to be able to render a service as an IT specialist. But until that time, you have to upskill yourself so much that you are able to stand out for somebody to want to use you. So I want to challenge you today. What are you doing differently that is going to make you stand out in the environments that God sends you out to when you leave here? Right? Yes, it's good to make connections. It's good to make friendships. But it's also good to make sure that you are networking. The people you meet here might be the person that gives you a job in 5 years or allows you to partner with them in a business. So don't be so snobbish that you can't work with the person sitting next to you because you think you're better than them. Right? Our jobs as hustlers is to be able to make the most of our situation, to persevere through difficult situations, to be able to get back up when we fall down. Here I am today, right? I've been home for 7 years. God has been gracious to me. The first year I got back, I got a commercial for Clover. The next day I got back, I got two theatre plays. Then I got hired for House of Sweden during COVID. God is greater than our circumstances that we are in now. All we see is the now, the difficulty, the hardship, no money, fear. I don't understand what I'm studying. I don't understand where I'm going. But God sees you at the end. God saw me standing here talking to you when I was packing boxes. Because I needed to remind you that you are more than that. And that there's so much more in store for you, but you have to see it for yourself. Right? Greatness is inside of you. That's my last word. Greatness is inside of you. You just have to believe it. You have to believe it and you have to see it for yourself. You can do anything. You were born with greatness. It's not given to you from anybody else. It's already inside of you. Everything that you will achieve today, tomorrow, and forever. But do you believe it? Right? So we ain't hustling for nothing. We ain't hustling for nothing. I played the song for you guys because I want to tell you a quick story before I go. The guy on the track, his name is Toby Nwigwe. Do you guys know him? Yes. Yes, he's a very good friend of mine. He and I did that track together. It was his first EP. He believed in his dream as an artist so much that he gave out that EP for free to his audience and said, look, don't buy the music, just buy my merch. Right? He was so creative with it that he gave away his music for free. And then, now today, he just did a collaboration with Montclair. He just did a collaboration with Reebok. He's one of the biggest hip hop artists, Grammy nominated. He's incredible, known all over the world. But when I met Toby, he was my trainer. He wasn't even a hip hop artist. He had just gotten an injury from being an athlete and doing amazing things. Today, he's one of the biggest stars in the world. Everybody starts from somewhere, but it depends on how you get back up again, right? So that's my challenge to you today. How are you going to get back up? And how will you be remembered the day that we bury you? What will people say? God bless.
Thank you very much, Ms. Duplessis. That was amazing and motivational, right?
Thank you. No, guys, I don't know about you. I feel inspired. I don't know. Do you feel inspired? Yeah.
You guys don't sound like you feel inspired. You guys feel inspired. Yeah. Okay, okay.
On that note,
Yes. Wait, that's this one. None of it. Exactly. Whoever 21, you forget that.
yeah.
Whoever 21.
21, yeah.
Yes.
But you know, one of the things I picked up that she did say that she
Yeah.
picked up with me is how you get up. So I think for us youth, it's very important to know that as much as you have dreams and goals, you need to know that you might hit a stumbling block here and there.
Yes.
But the most important thing is how you bring yourself up. You understand? No, you can try. Brings me to our next but really our next
Speaker, yes.
she now has changed things. We all know men mostly are the ones that do two jobs, right?
Yeah, they do know that.
Can you believe that you do two jobs?
Ooh,
Yeah.
two
So
jobs.
I'm talking about she's a lawyer.
A lawyer.
She's a
How does that work together?
Imagine.
Lawyer, presenter.
I'm sure she just goes on TV and then come up.
Yeah, definitely.
But all jokes aside, I'd like to welcome to the stage Emily Shabala.
Mama, my phone, mntana biwenzenjani ngithangisa khona athi ngizothandaza kuphethiwe kuphethe mama.
While we're still dealing with Kelly, guys, I just need a lawyer blush.
Oh my gosh. Geez, I've been invited here to motivate the youth, but gosh, guys, Louis, I feel like, there was a reason I was invited here just to listen to you. I felt so motivated. Thank you so much for. Yeah, Zelda, thank you so much for the invite. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be speaker this morning. Lawyers can end up talking forever, so I decided that we could just write something so that I don't, so that I don't overstep and stick to my 10 minutes that I've been given. I stand here before you today, and I'm reminded, of a very fond memory when I was 5 years old, growing up in a little township in Soweto. I come from Diepkloof. So yeah, wherever Soweto is. Yeah, I remember I was 5 years old and I saw an aeroplane. I saw an aeroplane flying over. I was with my grandmother. I said, Coco, one day when I grow up, I want to go and work in that aeroplane. And my grandmother looked at me very weirdly because we didn't know anyone that flew, that worked in the airplanes. And here's this little girl saying she wants to work in the airplanes in the 80s. In the 80s, only white people were allowed to work for South African Airways. And when you're not limited, when you just see things not by the standards that have been created around you, but you just believe that, what, I can also do it. Well, then behold, I went to high school, and I remember when I was in standard 6, it was post standard 6 then. I'm giving away my age. And we went to the career center in not far from Baragwana, and I started doing my research about working in the airplanes and becoming a flight attendant. And yeah, I've got all the information. I needed to finish my trip. You needed to at least work for a customer service, or work in a customer service background. And when I got to standard 8, my grandfather said, you know what, I really want to be a flight attendant, but you know that you can't do that forever. You're gonna want to get married one day, be a wife, have kids, and you can't leave your. I think this one's better. Yay. So yeah, well, he said, no, you can't be a flight attendant forever. And I thought, you know what? Yeah, I know I'm gonna need a plan B of some sorts, And his friend was an attorney, and his friend would come and visit us at home. And whenever good day came home, everyone just wanted to listen to him. He would speak all these Latin words, these big bombastic English words, and I'm like, wow, I also like to have that attention on me. And I thought, but you know what? His mental love was still becoming a flight attendant. So, well, I finished. I think when I chose my subject in matric, because I was torn between the two. I was in conflict with my parent choices, and I thought, no, let me just do math, science, bio, and accounting, so that I can have options. Well, finished matric, and after matric, decided to go into a different career completely because I was 18. I couldn't go to SAA. And then I went into logistics. Yeah, that's the story for another day. Finished my logistics at 21. I got an opportunity to go and apply at SA Express, which was the domestic airline at that time. Went to SA Express, was successful, started flying there, but I thought, you know what? We want to be flight attendants because we want to see the world, right? SA Express, we only did Durban, Cape Town, and just local destinations. Went to SAA, I remember when I applied there, they never used to take people from SA Express because we were sister companies, and they didn't want to disrupt the operations at SA Express. But that year, we applied. By God's grace, I was the only one that was chosen to go to SAA. Well, my SAA career started then, started flying, went, I think I've been to over 76 countries, 6 continents. Really had the best time of my life. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I think, I've just been blessed with that opportunity. But like my grandfather said when I was in high school, that Kelly, you can't do this forever. You're gonna need to settle down. And in my 30s, early 30s, that's when I decided that, you know what, I still have that love for the law, So yeah, in my 30s, I decided to go back to school, started a new career completely, started my LLB, studied through correspondence while I was still flying. And yeah, fast forward in my late, I think, I took a break because I felt pregnant, got married, and life happened, And then in my late 30s, decided to go back to school to finish what I started, and I completed my LLB degree. I know a lot of people would say, tell me, how did you do it in your 30s? Because I am 25 and I am struggling to go back to school because I feel like I'm too old. No, you are never too old for school, guys. Believe me. Finished my degree, served my articles, the ones that want to go into the legal industry. Once you complete your LLB degree, then you have to serve articles for 2 years. And we do what we call practical legal training, which is compulsory. So we did that, and after that, you write 4 board exams. Those 4 board exams, they're the most difficult exams anyone has ever written. I remember when I wrote my final paper, I think in that year, there was like 7,000 of us that wrote. And with paper 3, it's a very Sure. I think I'm still traumatized from what I did that day. It is also a very controversial paper. And that year, most of us, we actually wanted to rewrite that paper because we thought, no, this paper was unfair. We asked things that we from the UK and stuff, things that were never actually even tried. And I was one of the people that wrote the petition to want to rewrite this paper, And lo and behold, the results came, and I was the only part of the only 4% that passed in that year. So I think with that, it just showed that, you know what, if you put your mind into something and you really go for it, nothing should stop you, With that, I thought to myself, at my age, I've always been entrepreneurial also. It's one thing that I have mentioned. I've always tried things. I've been an events coordinator. I've sold things on Amazon.com. Sold things on takealot.com. While I was still flying, after I left flying, I've always tried. I always say that I'm a kid and I have 9 lives. I always try this and I fail and try again and fail and try again and I fail. And eventually, when I was done with my exams and everything, I thought, Kelly, you've always wanted to have your own business. How about you start your own business? I remember I went looking for offices. At the time, my friend laughed at me because I was like, Mpo, I've got minus 37 grades in my and I know we need to just go get those offices. I went and applied, I've got office space in Bedford View, North Hull, you know. And the lady said, no, Tim, you don't qualify. Your name is bad, you're on ITC, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, the office manager said, we can approve your application. And I wrote the landlord himself. I said, I think there's a reason that I'm here, and there's a reason that I chose your place. I had a full-time job, I left my job, after leaving my job, I had certain obstacles, and when you have obstacles, you earn next to nothing. I explained my story, and this guy said, you know what, I believe in this girl, please give her the office space. So with minus 37 rand and my faith only, I got to qualify for that office space. Today, we have moved to bigger offices, and I employ more staff in my firm. As a flight attendant, I left Star, the new Heinz, and as an attorney, I've dedicated my life to helping others navigate the complexities of the law. Today, I want to tell you that you can do the same. You can rise above circumstances. You can achieve greatness. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Your voice matters. Your dreams matter. Don't be afraid to chase them, and even when the road ahead seems uncertain, just go for your dreams. The host mentioned that I am also a presenter. I'm also on a leader show called Ring. It's on Mashallah, it plays every Thursday. It's at 5 p.m. I want to inspire you to take control of your lives, to know your rights, and to stand up for what you believe in. So I urge you to stay focused, stay driven, and stay committed to your goals. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, and most importantly, believe in yourself. You are the leaders of tomorrow. You are the change makers. You are the ones who will shape the future. Remember that your background is not your ultimate goal. You may be coming from a not so ideal background, but your potential is limitless. Go out there and make a difference. Make your mark and leave a legacy. I believe in you, and I know you can do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that motivational speech. Do you feel motivated?
I mean, she traveled the world. She worked in Amazon.
Speaking of Amazon, don't you think that's part of the formula for success? Yeah, also work in Amazon. Yeah. So guys, go to Amazon. Yeah. Definitely. That's the formula.
And another thing that's quite funny that I picked up.
Yes.
She went into different careers. So I'm thinking that you should be a doctor.
Yeah. Doctor, what did you call them? Yeah, just see as you go. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker holds so many titles, like a lot,
I love that she showed them.
No one's better than the other, we all persevere in our different departments and, excel in those. Yes. So our next speaker is currently an employee here at Sci-Bono Discovery Center. She is a senior manager and the resident psychologist. Right. Do you want to meet her?
Yeah, don't you want to meet her?
Yes. Give a whole round of applause for Dr. Mondandana.
Good morning, good day, staff and youth and everyone else and our visitors, our presenters. I greet you all today, this morning. It's a pleasure for me to come and deliver this resilience presentation because it helps well with our two speakers. Unfortunately, I couldn't listen to both of them in like a long time of their speech, but whatever I pick up, it speaks exactly to resilience. The ICT youth, you remember that I delivered some of the resilience to you, but it's not the same as today. And Zelda, I don't know how I'm going to do this in 20 minutes because I've got handouts and I think I underestimated the attendance. I did 50 and it's more than 50 here. So I really don't know how we're going to do this in under 20 minutes. But anyway, this is me, Dr. Danjana. I'm at Career Center. I'm a psychologist and resident psychologist there. So whoever needs help, my door is open for whatever problems that you're struggling with, challenges, mental health, anything. So most of you have consulted, so it's still open. You just make an appointment or drop in and just speak to me and then we make an appointment. So today, we've got this presentation, the resilience, balancing protection with trust.
What is resilience? Resilience is bouncing back. It's the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. It's being positive, even when things don't seem to be going well. Did you hear Ostembi here? Things were not going well, but she was positive. Believing in yourself and your goals, not being afraid to make mistakes, being able to handle tricky situations, try your best even if you don't think you will succeed. Never give up even when things are really tough. Raising children and adolescents who are prepared to thrive. So I think you're part of these people who are now ready to thrive. So as you are at Sci-Bono, we are there as your support system to make sure that you reach your goals. So resilience is the ability to overcome adversity. Do you know what adversity is? You know, in life, we all go through challenges, isn't it? Financial, social, emotional, psychological, in the communities, at home, in families, we all have challenges. And at the end of the day, you end up thinking, no, I'm giving up. Have you seen Kumbule Kaya? You know how those people got to where they are? It's because of the adversity. It's because of toxic families, communities. They ended up, I don't want to be with these people. I don't want to be here. And they leave everything else. So you don't have to do that if you listen to this presentation. And resilience, it's a mindset. It's in your mind. If you want to change your mind,
If you want to better yourself, if you want to
rise above your challenges, it's up here. You can do it. Nobody else can do it for you. It is dynamic. It develops over time and takes into account the interactions of risks and protective factors. You heard the two speakers. The first one said she went overseas when things were not working in South Africa. She stayed so many years without a job.
There was a risk to take to go overseas, not knowing what she was going to do there. Both of them. Contextual conditions, individual traits and abilities.
So, resilience is contextual, meaning you take into account the context that it is happening within. So, we'll see those contexts. And person and context are mutually interactive. There's no way you can disengage yourself from a context for you to experience life, whether it's positive or negative. Resiliency is context. You are in the family, in the middle there, you and your family. So family is your context in this. It's the first contact of your context. From there, you have informal supports, which might be positive or negative. Positive meaning they are behind you, supporting and cheering you. Negative, it's when it is toxic, when people are bailing out, people don't want to do anything with you. Community, if it is positive or negative, you have peers, you know how peers are, and school. So it's how you experience these contexts for you to be resilient even if things don't go well. There's nothing so wrong with you that what's right with you cannot fix. Do you understand that quotation? There's nothing so wrong with you that what's right with you cannot fix. So you can have something that's right with you. It's your mindset. You can fix it. You can think. You can change how you look at your context and situations. So resilience is not that you are vulnerable. You are still strong. You just have to push on. The bottom line is that young people will be more resilient if the important adults in their lives believe in them unconditionally and hold them to high expectations, as well as young people live up and down to the expectation that we as parents and communities and everyone else set for them. So it can be negative, positive. But as soon as you get condemned, as soon as you get judged, that's when you start having challenges and we're testing your resilience. Then there's 7 C's of resilience that you have to know. It's confidence. You need to be confident. You need to be competent in whatever you do. You must have connections. Your character builds you as well. Contribution, what's your contribution to the wider community? Your coping skills and your control. So resiliency, it's not what happens to you, but what you make out of what happens to you that makes you resilient. Now, we are going to be doing some, I don't know how we're going to do this. We've got handouts. Okay, can all the students raise their hands so that we see who they are and where they are at?
Yeah. Students, okay, so that the interns can see you then. Just raise your hands and then you can. And then this group, who are you here? DM. Oh, okay. But the ICT what? Okay, I think we are also students. Yeah, just also students. Okay, let's see how far we can go with those handouts. So how do we build resilience? We can build our resilience muscles by practicing resilience. You understand? You have to practice it. How? By being positive. Remind yourself of all the things you are good at. You are brave and you will try new things. It's okay to ask for help. And these are just some of the ways we can build our resilience. They are more. Phrases. Let's say, show resilience. I will never be good at this.
Do you think this shows resilience? It's giving up, isn't it? Yeah, you're giving up. You are not confident with yourself. It's like this will never be good at all. Don't worry about it. Resilience? Yes, yes. We will overcome. Don't stress yourself about it. Let's ask for some help. Yes, you need to advance. You need to ask for help. Your networks will come as well. Yeah, God. And then let's see what we can do. Is this resilience showing? Yes, it is. Massive fall? Massive fail? Do you see this as a fail whereby it's so massive that you can't even rise? Does failing one module or one subject makes you a failure? No. I'm rubbish at this. No. This will get better. Yes. Laugh it off. Of course. Yes. Life is not serious. Don't take yourself too serious. How? Nobody takes you serious. So just laugh it off. Always try your best. Never give up. I can't do this. That's not resilience, ne? I can't do it yet. Yes, yet. But I know I will be able to do it. I will get my degree. I will qualify as a lawyer, as a dentist, as a whatever. Tomorrow it's another day. Beautiful. Beautiful. So do you recognize this lady? Joanne Rowling. She had a really tough time before she became successful. She was depressed, had no money and no job. Her first Harry Potter book was rejected by the publisher. Did she give up? No, she bounced back. She sent it to lots of publishers, but it was rejected again, 12 times in total. Did she give up? No, she bounced back. She kept going. She worked hard to achieve her goal. Eventually succeeded and is now one of the best-selling authors. You see resilience 12 times. Why? Because she didn't give up. She bounced back. Do you recognize this man? Who? Justin Bieber. Famous, all thanks to the internet. Lots of people were really mean to him. Did he give up? No, he barely bad, whatever in himself. He believed himself. The bullying continued. People spread lies and rumors about him and hacking all his videos and YouTubes. Did he give up? No. He believed in himself. Sorry for the mistake. Every mistake he made, and yes, there were a few, was plastered all over the press. Did he give up? No. He believed in himself. That's not to say that by simply being resilient, we will become rich and famous like them, ne? But it wasn't always easy for them as well to get where they were, and from there. Are resilient and just to be finishing now, bouncing back when things go wrong, recognizing your strengths and talents, not worrying about what other people think. Yayazi leyo sickness abantu bazothini, rise above abantu bazothini, asisho nix ngoba nathi sinezethu. So stop that. Being able to handle tricky situations, staying positive, believing in yourself, always trying your best, and never giving up. Thank you for participating. But now, I don't know how we're going to get those handouts. What I will do is that, especially for the ICT ones, where Zelda and Nico will do them in a session. But what is there, it's just positivity, where you are going to write positive things about yourself. And you paste it in a circle. You write about 9 positive things about yourself. You paste them there. Then you put it on your wall. I'm good. I'm clever. I'm able. I'm a socialite. I can talk to people. I can do this. Yes, I have what it takes. So you write those positive things about you. Then you look at your strengths. What are my strengths? Out of those strengths, it's what will make you to overcome the adversity. I think this is about all. Unfortunately, I can't hand them all. They were so beautiful, but I told Zelda that it's an hour presentation, but here we are. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Moss. And now I see why he said I should be a doctor. Yeah.
If I am right,
Definitely.
if I am right, I am born.
So, talk about the resilience in general. My highlight was the 7 C's in resilience. I know we have the 7 C's in resilience, right? You have them?
Definitely.
100%? My God.
Born.
Exactly. Now, the question is, does the audience have the 7 C's of resilience? Are we sure? I think let's list it. Number one, confidence. Do you guys have confidence?
You guys are
Confidence.
That's more like
That's exactly. Now, competence. Do you all have competence? Connected?
connection people.
We need to connect. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Character. Do you all have character? Of course.
Oh.
Getting there. Coping? Last but not least, control. Control of your own life,
Still working on control.
right? Control of your mindset. Remember? Because resilience is mindset, right? It is a mindset. Well, yeah, definitely.
And if you remember when I started, I did say that if you believe it, then you know.
Exactly.
So no more worrying, no more complaining. You should do what? Believe in yourself. Because if you believe in yourself, then you become what? More resilient.
And let's not forget today's theme. You guys remember it? What's today's theme?
It's in your
Mama guys. So we're going to have a shape connection. Here there's no connection. Let's be the future. Right. Thank you. Now move on to our next speaker. She is, well, most of our speakers, carry a lot of titles. So does she. She's the founder and chairperson of Rising as Sisters, a non-profit organization that supports youth, women, and children with disabilities and promotes community education on inclusivity, empowerment, and what? Overall? Resilience. Right? So let's give a warm welcome to Tefofatso Michelle.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tokofatso, and I'm here to talk to you about the importance of personal branding. What do you think personal branding is? Can someone from the audience put up a hand and let me know? You get a prize for participating. Yes? Okay. Somebody else? Yes. Okay, thank you. And then do you think it's important while you're young?
Yes.
Okay. So personal branding, you're all correct. It's about your reputation, right? How people experience you, what people see when they see you, how you dress. Are you wearing short stuff, cheeky bums? Are your shoes clean? To wipe them down with handy Andy? Are your shoes polished? Are you tucked in or is your pants sagging? Are you wearing torn jeans? That's all about personal branding. Are you neat? How are your nails? Neat? How are your nails? Are they long? Or is those long nails that people see you? Your hairstyle, your tattoos, your piercings. That's what people remember about you. Personal branding is also about what people hear about you, what do people say about you, how do people feel when your name comes up. So how you treat people, how you treat the cleaner, how you treat the security guard, how you treat the waiter at the restaurant. Are you respectful of everybody? Do you greet people, or do you only respect people with titles? Do you only respect people because of something that they can do for you? Because tomorrow you don't know when roles will be reversed. Tomorrow you don't know if the person sitting there will be your boss and that day you treated them badly. I mean, I remember when I was in high school, uh, I don't think I was showing up as my best self. And one day I got to an interview, and one of the ladies that I wasn't the nicest to was actually on the panel. And as I was sitting in the waiting area, I was so scared. I was so sure that I will not get the job because somewhere down the line you were not nice to that person. Luckily, I got the job. But that just goes to tell you about your personal branding, how you carry yourself as the youth, how you carry yourself in high school, university, that, right? And then okay, everyone has a brand, and you must be intentional about shaping it. Start now, you're never too young. The things we do today shape our future and impact our lives tomorrow. Personal branding is also about what people say about you when you're not around. Like, uh, yes, do you speak about other people when they're not in the room? Do you speak badly of other people? Do you speak badly of your teachers? Do you gossip? And yes, just how you carry yourself. What do people say about you when you're not around? Personal branding is also built through your values, your actions, your online presence. Nowadays we post things on TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram. We just, we respond when people are doing online bullying that we see a lot. Maybe you also throw in a comment, maybe you're also part of the people that are body shaming or that are teasing people about their downfalls and whatever. So your digital footprint never goes away. And today's employers and people you want to work with, brands, when you want to start a business, people Google you, and all of that stuff is going to come out. When you were bashing another business, whether it's somebody's business or whether it was about Coca-Cola or whatever, all that comes up. And imagine tomorrow you apply for a job at Coca-Cola, but you were the one bashing a product that they made. So be careful what you post online. Be careful what you respond to. Be careful how you also show yourself. Are you posting yourself on weekends drinking, smoking, partying, dancing on tables? What are you putting out there? How you communicate. I think I spoke to Dan about how you communicate in class, how you communicate with people, everybody around you, and your reputation as a whole. Are you guarding your reputation? You need to start showing up as your future self, right? Everyone has a brand. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. Thank you. Why personal branding matters? It influences how you're perceived in the job market, and it also opens up career opportunities for you. It can also close them depending on how you carry yourself and what you put out there. It also matters because recruiters, mentors, and funders Google you. What will they find? It helps you stand out, especially when you have limited experience, like the youth of today. Um, What builds a strong brand? How can you start building your brand today for the person you want to be tomorrow? You need to know your values, your vision, and what are your passions. Can maybe someone from the audience tell me what? Just name me one value. Yes. Oh, that's a good one. That will take you a long way. Anybody else?
Loyalty.
Yes. Loyalty is also good. Yes. Yes. Being humble, humility is everything. Also, we spoke about respect and things like that. And what? Yes, always be kind. Um, and then you must always be consistent in how you act, in how you show up, and how you communicate. So most of you are here at school, so always be on time. Don't be the absent person. Don't show up according to your mood. Always show up. Always be consistent. Always be known for a hardworking person and a person who's on time, a dependable person. Um, yes, and a good communicator. Visibility is everything when you build your brand. So be intentional. So, for a professional like myself, I am very visible on LinkedIn. I show visible leadership. So, tomorrow when I go to an interview, I don't have to say I'm a leader. My LinkedIn profile says that for itself. I mean, I am motivating young professionals. I have mentorship sessions with them. Um, they spoke about my NPO, that is also visible leadership. And my social media also speaks volumes about my leadership and my personal brand, how I want to be known. And then you should also learn to be a person of value. Offer something, knowledge, help, and inspiration. I do that through the work that I do at ESCOM. I train women with using the systems that we use to plan all the engineering work. I also help other young engineers and quantity surveyors, women in the technical space, about their career paths and where they can go and which directions to take. I also inspire and motivate people. And then, how does personal branding affect your future? It can open or close doors. It can give you internships. It can give you job opportunities, speaking opportunities like today that we have here, and funding opportunities for those who want to be entrepreneurs. It also gives you direction and purpose in life. It builds trust with the people you want to work with and gives you credibility. So, how do you start building your brand? You can start by cleaning up and professionalizing your social media. So today you can go back and take down all those posts, the ones where you're dancing on tables, or the ones that your tables are filled with alcohol and you're showing you're having a good time. Um, yes, all of that. And then volunteering is so important. It shows leadership in today's jobs because everybody is educated, everybody is this great person. How do you stand out? What are you doing over and above just being educated and asking for work? So, I did speak about how I volunteer. Once a month, I make a certain contribution to homes. So this winter, we went to an orphanage and gave the needy blankets. I mean, the previous month, we went to another orphanage home with young children and we gave them clothes. I mean, you can be creative, it doesn't always have to be monetary. You could go read at an old age home. You can go help in schools with children doing with their homeworks. With you guys in IT, you can go teach a skill. So just try to volunteer and do that with an online presence or have some sort of portfolio of evidence. You never know when you'll need it. Keep showing up like your future self. Share your journey with other people. I love how all the speakers that came before me spoke about their journey to success, their hardships, and how they overcame everything that they overcame to be the people that they are today. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep building that brand. Always develop a growth mindset. I personally believe in personal development. So attend those courses, those workshops, opportunities to speak, because no matter what qualification you have, you still need to be able to speak. So you can hold a master's, but then what will it do for you? Can you use it? Or is it just a qualification you just got? Surround yourself with positive influences. Growing up, our parents would always tell us, don't befriend that one, because they were in trouble or they did this and that. That is very important in your adult life. Who you surround yourself with. When they say birds of a feather flock together, so be careful who your friends are, and yes, guard your brand. Mistakes to avoid when building your brand: don't fake it. Don't try pretend to be somebody else. Maybe there's someone else that you see online, maybe a celebrity. Don't try be them. Show up as your authentic self. If you want to build a brand online also, just be different. Don't do what everybody is doing. Be authentic and lead with authenticity. I spoke about not posting irresponsibly, how your digital footprint lasts. Don't wait to make it. Don't wait to get the job and then start cleaning up your brand. Start now, start small, start today. Start talking about your passions and what you love and what you want to get into. So if you found a passion in cybersecurity or web development, start talking about that. Let people know what you found interesting today, what you learned today. Those kind of things bring job opportunities before you even apply for a job. And people also want to work with you. Okay, so today I put a challenge to you. What do you want to be known for? Write down your top 3 brand values, list 3 actions you'll take, and try to live them out starting from today. Thank you.
So Guys, are we accepting the challenge? Are we accepting the challenge?
I don't think they are.
Guys, come on, let's wake up. Are we accepting the challenge? Yes, we want to brand ourselves and put ourselves out there.
I'm gonna put myself. I'm already out there, by the way. Yes, you can see. Yeah,
Alright.
definitely.
So guys, unfortunately, Louis has to leave. But we would like to say on behalf of everyone, thank you so much. Your words really inspired us, especially your singing. And one thing I love is the fact that she showed resilience, guys. I don't know if you noticed. Her music was not playing, but she got herself up and then she sang for us. I think she did justice, don't you think? So let's give her a round of applause. Thank you so much. All right. All right. With that being said, Ish, I did not realize how personal branding was so big because I'm a huge sports fan. My soccer fans out there. First for life. Because we had up and down so ish on my social media. I might have just said just
This.
this. You
I
understand? So
don't
I'm
know
gonna
any
go back.
soccer.
I'm gonna go back and clean that up.
Yes, please do that. Yes.
But on a lighter note, I think the counts.
Yeah, you guys seem like you guys are like, down, like, going past, the fight. Yeah.
And I think, and the youth are known for what?
For being active, energetic, always moving, but these ones, they got to.
Where's Salah? So the people that are gonna come on stage, I wanna light you guys up. You know why?
Why?
Because they are energetic. Oh, and I give a choice and it's a Bammo. Let me let them do justice. Guys, coming on stage is
Moving into dance. Let's give them a
Send the piano, yeah. Inumbone ngithanda umuntu yokudinga bakusafane ngikali Inumbone ngizinikele empini yokudinga ngoba ngiyalimala phakathi Inumbone ngithanda umuntu yokudinga bakusafane ngikali Inumbone ngizinikele empini yokudinga Banyalimala phakathi
deep breath as many and many again. Males en males are that false. Het heeft me 200 hier langs me. En hij zal je peet. Free when I'm home. I am free when I'm writing. I'm free. I'm free when I'm watching TV.
free when I'm outside.
I'm free when I'm laughing.
Free when I'm itchy.
Free when I'm sleeping. We are from moving into dance.
R-I-T.
Moving into dance. Moving into dance. Moving into dance. Into dance. Into dance. Today we are here to present Edudance. Does anyone have an idea of what Edudance is? Anyone? Edudance. Yeah. Okay. Guys, Edudance is a tradition to dance. Okay, something for today is based on South African music.
In 1976, 15,000 learners gathered in Soweto. It is because the students were very angry because the government had said that half of their studies will be studied in Afrikaans as their third language.
In 1977, Steve Biko was jailed and interrogated by the police. And later on, he was found in his cell. A police doctor recommended that he go to hospital, but instead he was forced on the 12-hour journey to Victoria, laying naked at the back door.
The next day, still naked and alone, he died in Pretoria Central Prison from brain damage. Brain damage, Buffett. The world was shocked at his death, and Biko became a symbol and a martyr for Black resistance.
And also, the police. Continue torturing us. And more deaths in jail in the 1980s. This is a total insult. And I dare you, any one of you, if anyone dare to break the law, will be dealt with a firm hand.
That was President P.W. Botha talking. We were expecting some good news, but instead he warned the whole world not to push too far. And the other countries were not happy. They stopped investing their money in South Africa.
War broke out last week in some of the townships in Johannesburg, 1982. Do you know what happened? Do we know what happened? No. Nelson Mandela ephuma ejele after 27 years as a free man.
And then there was a state emergency where everyone was forced to be in their house. What was the state emergency?
The government gave extra power to the army and the police. Then the government was known as the state of police.
And in 1983, FW declared to replace P.W. Botha as a prime minister. And in 1990, he unbanned the ANC and other apartheid organizations.
On the 11th of February, just before 4 o'clock, come on, guys. 4 o'clock, Ndambam. Kwenzekani? Kuyo yonke lento eyenzakalayo. Yazi kwenzekani? Baba, ngithi Mandela was released, actually. Sithi sikintsha, sibudla, sa-celebrate, Namu tata! Amandla! Some South African political parties start together to find a solution for the future.
Unfortunately, the country experienced one of its most devastating things. Over 3,400 people died due to political violence. Let's talk about the Bupatong massacre that happened. And the police stood there and did nothing at all.
On the 27th of April, 1994, for the first time in our history, all South Africans cast their vote. Democratic Party, Freedom Fight.
African National Congress.
South Africa Part.
African Movement. Democracy.
Minority Front.
Inkatha Freedom Party.
Pan-African Congress.
Workers' Left Party.
Igwankweta! Party of South Africa.
The Progressive Party.
And on the 10th of December 1996, Nelson Mandela signed the new constitution. We as the people of South Africa recognize our injustices of the past. Honor those who have suffered for our justice and freedom of this land. Respect those who have worked hard to respect those who have worked hard to develop and build this country. And we also believe that this country belongs to everyone that lives in it. United, we united in diversity. United in diversity. Maibua! Africa! Africa! Africa!
No, no, take my power. 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 No, take my power. 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 Feeling way. Feeling way. Take my power. Power. My power. No, no, take my power. My power. My power. It feel way. Oh wow. It feel way. Oh wow. I was always in the lead. Who you wanna be? I'm who they wanna be. BEAUTYE. Never seen so much rage from a queen. Rage from a queen. Queen so strong, thought she was a machine. Girl of your dreams, Sinclair regime. Turn to the max, can't forget Maxine. Be at the hottest inside of me. I'm hottest 100 degrees hottest. If we be in hottest, ebony and demonic. Black people win. They say we be in demonic. Angel in disguise. I hate I have to disguise it. Why you gotta disguise it? Rich in the mind. That's why I'm making deposits. Tell me all the power. It's time to realize it. Don't know, but take my power. Power, my power. Don't know, but take my power. My power, my power.
So, now since we have a little bit of our history as South Africans, we'd like to know from you, guys, what is your dream for the future of South Africa? Yes.
Peace to all the world and all nations wide.
Thank you very much. Peace, because peace is what we need, so we can be able to live as one and achieve our dreams. Anyone else?
Technological advancement.
Beautiful stuff, my guys.
We can take our food
To the sky, and study up there. Anyone else?
To bring humanity in a country.
Beautiful. There's a lady, the short lady, the last lady here, said something about not talking bad about other people, and really take care of somebody else, because you may never know that person, he or she might be your boss in the future. Yeah, so humanity is very important. Thank you for raising that up. Anyone else in closing? Going once?
Equality in our country.
Equality in our culture. That's what. Going once, twice. Beautiful. Thank you very much, guys.
Yes, I didn't know Sparrow.
But I told you guys, this guy's move buildings, shake stages, and
Even I think the most important thing that you can all pick from this is that the youth are accelerating, they are consistent,
Yes.
they are smart, educated, and the future is in on. Yes.
I love the whole education. I think I would have passed with distinction if all my subjects, including physics and math, were in education. You guys know? So, you would have passed, yeah.
I mean, imagine to solve for X.
Yo.
X squared. Yeah. Maybe. I forgot. Yes.
Oh,
Right. So it brings us to our next speaker. She's established in entrepreneurship. She's a Pan-African entrepreneur, brand South African ambassador, and a managing director of a business development agency. Let's give a warm welcome to Cindy Pearl Mampumolo. Yeah.
Mapumulo, sorry. Mapumulo.
Good afternoon or good morning. It's not yet 12. How are you? How are you guys? Are you well? All right. First, to thank the organizers for including me in in this esteemed gathering. I always enjoy coming to speak to young people. I'm at the cusp of that of the bracket, so I don't necessarily consider myself a young person really anymore, but I'm really glad to be here. So just to get to the point, you will notice that on this slide, of course, I've got about 10 minutes. What I have done is that I have tried my best to put together a resource document. So this presentation is also going to serve as a resource document, for you guys to sort of refer to as well. And you will see why as I continue. So as I've been introduced, my name is Pearl Mapumulo. It's okay. I get that a lot. Some of my friends in Limpopo, they spell my surname with O's and they leave out the U's. So it's understandable. It's all good. Otherwise known as Cindy Pearl, but you can call me Pearl, Cindy, whichever one works with you. It's absolutely fine with me. It's most welcome. So yes, I am managing director of the business development agency. It is a private consulting agency that I started about 11 years ago, 2014. So 11 years, yeah. My math is mathing, yeah, 11 years ago. I've had many privileges as it relates to my entrepreneurship journey. However, that is not always, that was not always the case. So I'm going to share a little bit about my own journey as well, so you get to sort of get to know me. Okay, it's visible over there. So I have a typical story of many South Africans, or many young South Africans. I grew up in a township. The works, the whole story. At some point, we could not afford to. I could not afford to go to school, or rather, my parents could not afford to take me to school. The usual story. But what I did have at the time, I had as resource, I had a laptop, and I had a Facebook account, and I also so happened to have airtime at the time. So how I started generating funds after not being able to go to school, I went on my Facebook and I typed, I'm offering typing services. Because the only thing I had to my disposal was that laptop. And so I typed and I said, I'm offering typing services, and I got a gig. I'm not sure how much I got paid. I probably got paid like 150 or something. I don't know. It was a ridiculous amount when I think about it today. But I didn't have income, so it was a lot of money for me. So I got work from a mini worker, a person that was employed in the mining sector. So I grew up in Mpumalanga, in Woodbank, more specifically. Or okay, there's hi. So there's people from Woodbank. Are you from Woodbank? Okay, that is very odd. I've never in a room with people from Woodbank. Mpumalanga, yes, but Woodbank barely ever. So I grew up in Malasheli, Isnambeli. That's so awesome. I grew up as Nambili, Extension 7.
We later on moved, at a different part in Woodbank with my family. So that's where I started out my journey.
So the people that I had in my network were people on my Facebook at least. There were people from Woodbank. And so someone who worked for, I don't know if it was Anglo or one of the mines in Woodbank, but this particular gentleman worked at a mine and he was starting a side hustle. And so he wanted some piping services, or at least he wanted some documentation done for his side hustle. And of course, he never had time. So that's how I sort of leveraged, I guess, using my skills into making some form of income for myself. So that's how I started. So that point is about that. Another thing that I want to also share in my very earliest journey before I got to where I am today, volunteering. I did a lot of volunteering. Of course, number one, no one really wanted to hire me because I didn't really have the skills or the, I guess even the education, in fact, to add value to the company. And that was a reality. It's a fact, right? I didn't have the experience or anything like that. So I did a lot of volunteering. And I found myself, also in a community called, I don't know if you guys know about it, called the Global Shapers Community. It's part of the, you know it? It's part of the World Economic Forum. So the World Economic Forum at some point decided that they want to empower young people, they want to include them, or give them a seat at the table. And one of the best ways was to create this network across the world where young people could be leading themselves, sort of identifying issues in their communities, and then solve for those community issues. So I then joined the Soweto Hub because I had moved from Witbank by then. I'd gotten a scholarship. I went to the Raymond Ackerman Academy because I was already entrepreneuring through the typing stuff that I had done. So I was selected to do that. It was paid by the Ackerman Academy, Raymond Ackerman, or the late Raymond Ackerman, who passed away a few months ago, the founder of Pick and Pay. So the family has a foundation called the Raymond Ackerman Foundation. And so they paid for a short course that I did in entrepreneurship, which was hosted in Soweto at the UJ campus. And that for me was sort of the breakout from Mpumalanga or Witbank into Johannesburg. And then I found the Global Shapers community. I volunteered there. And one of the perks, actually, of being a part of the Global Shapers community was that you could motivate as to why you should be selected to join the big World Economic Forum meetings. And if we know anything about the World Economic Forum, we know that that's where all the presidents and powerful people actually sort of meet up. So here I am, young girl from Eznambeni somewhere, an opportunity,
pops up. And I went and I went ahead and I applied. But I was a very active. I've always just been a busy bee from a very young age, by the way. Applied for this thing and I was selected. So my first trip, I think it was, don't know if it was China or Switzerland, but between those two countries. And I remember sitting in this place, like I have no clue what these people are talking about, but they're talking about climate change.
And I'm like, what on God? I had never heard any of this stuff. But that platform served as an educational platform for me. But what it also did is that it opened my eyes as to what other people across the world are actually doing. I remember one of my first sessions, I was sitting, and I didn't even know these people, So before, these big meetings, they would have like country sessions. So each government would then have planning sessions with the business community, etc. And I remember coming into a room, a breakfast that was a planning, session. I think it was hosted by our presidency before going to Switzerland. And I come into this room and everybody's wearing all, none, and you can tell that, these suits, this material, whatever this fabric is, I don't know, but these are like well-off people. I was probably one of the two young people in the room at the time. So when I walked in, I was so intimidated. And I went to sit at a table that had no one. So, but people were still coming. And there so happens, comes in a lady after me, French lady from Martinique. She comes and she sits next to me. She starts chatting to me. So, what do you do? And she was so warm. And I started talking and talking. And then she gives me her card at the end of that session. And I'm looking at her card. And I see that she's the country director of the World Bank in Nigeria. And I'm like, yo, anything I said does not matter anymore. What is this? And it's so funny because when he then was redeployed to then be the country director, so if you Google the country director for the World Bank in South Africa the past few years, there's a lady called Marie Francois.
So she was then deployed to South Africa, and she DM'd me on Facebook afterwards. She said, "I've been following you for years, and I've been watching you and your resilience and the things that you have been doing, because I've been as busy as I told you. But I've always just been pushing myself." And she said, "As soon as I'm settled, I just need to visit the countries where we have representation. The SACU countries, they're known, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Namibia, and South Africa. As soon as I've met up with the leadership in those countries and I'm settled in Pretoria, I'd like for you to, to fly in, because I was in KZN at the time. I'd like for you to fly in. I want you to join my team." Literally from volunteering, literally from not having the opportunities that most people assume you need to have in the beginning. But being very intentional that even if it's a volunteer opportunity, you give it your best. So I learned a lot of skills. I learned networking, at the time, but I met so many awesome people. I think one of the most incredible memories that I had, when I was at the World Economic Forum, I've met a lot of people, but I think the one, because I like Dr. Precious, I really like her. I didn't even know it was her at the time. So, in one of these, so similar to this, conference, there would be like, different, like little stalls or booths, etc. So there was a virtual reality store or booth that I went to, because I was really interested. I was like, what is this? So I went there and I had, the goggles on, and I was watching the short film. And then I took, these out, and then there was this lady who smelled so good. I was like, who is this? But I mean, I couldn't see who she was. And so I wanted to speak to the person who was hosting that particular room, and I was asking questions about this thing. And then this lady now was done watching the thing, and she stands next to me, and she's also now asking questions. And we walked out together. She's like, "Oh, hi," and she gives me her card, and then I looked at her card, and I was like, because I'm short, and I'm like, "Okay, nice to meet you." "Yeah, drop me an email. I heard what you did, da, da, da." And literally all of those, efforts, I started seeing sort of, having a ripple effect in the opportunities that I ultimately then got. Now I had access to opportunities, or access to information rather, because now I had access to these different nodes, or these different individuals or their institution. So I'm not going to talk more about that, but essentially that's, the point about volunteering. So it is really me saying, if you are not volunteering, and if you have a lot of time to do that, volunteer. You're learning the skill. You are not wasting, away. But if you're going to sit and then say, what am I going to do? My life, I want to go to school. Going to school first is not the only pathway. But I want to tell you, I want to emphasize this. I'm not saying education is not important, or going to get a formal education. I'm a master's candidate right now. But what I am saying to you is that is not the
pathway, right? Okay. So the next part, so this I contributed to the redevelopment of a platform that is called the Innovation Bridge Portal. I'll show you later what that is if you guys are not familiar with that, because I do think that that is, one of the resources that would be very useful for you, especially those that want to be entrepreneurs or want to pursue the pathway of entrepreneurship. The other stuff I'm not going to mention. Maybe the most relevant now.
I've been doing my master's. I'm taking my exam actually later, straight after this, for our exam. But I was so glad to be here with you guys. So why do tech skills matter? So I only have
one line, literally, that is a doom and gloom, and I decided not to really emphasize, on the stats, because you guys can actually Google them. But I'm sure you hear this all the time, about the young people, over 8 million young people who are not in education and training. We know this, right? But also,
next to that, or in parallel to that, there's so many opportunities, right, that you do not have to pay for. They might not be NQF certified, but there are opportunities to allow you to gain skill and to grow and to know certain things, right? And to open the door for you guys to actually get to the next level, and the next level, and the next level. So I'm not going to emphasize on that, but we know about the gig economy. This has been a very big part of
my journey or my work, because working in the consulting space, when you understand what the gig economy is, essentially, it's independent experts or workers. You can even work anywhere in the world. So a lot of the consulting work I mentioned
the World Bank has a representation in 5 countries, including South Africa. So when I joined that team, or when I was working, and by the way, joining the World Bank, I was not joining as an employee. I was joining as a vendor. So my company had a contract with the World Bank. Just maybe to clarify that. So the work that then we ultimately did, or part of the contract, was to work not only in South Africa but the 4 other countries, surrounding countries, as well. And we were obviously able to do that because of this gig economy. You can literally work,
90, even 100% of the time online and actually make, a lot of work, a lot of money as well. So, and in fact, many of our teams were based in different parts of the world. So even as you are looking for, other experts who may sort of give you a competitive advantage out there, you can even look into hiring or getting, consultants or people to join your team who are based in a completely, different jurisdiction altogether. It is possible. So you guys have the responsibility to go and Google a little bit more of what that means, if it is, of course, in your interests or in your line of, ambitions. So 90% of the jobs, so this is stats that I got from the World Bank. I had to do a lot of reading when I was with them, but 90% of future jobs, they do require digital skills, and I'm sure that you guys are quite aware of that. Yet in our country, 50% of our youth, in fact, in Africa, they lack just basic
digital literacy, so how to navigate, the online space. So just because people have access to internet doesn't necessarily mean that they have literacy for it. Right? You don't necessarily know that I should be looking for this, and this benefits me, and this is the place of the resource. And that's why I put together the resource that you guys will find later in the slides. That is the reality of the continent, but also South Africa and many other countries, of course, in the continent and the world, other developing nations as well.
Of course, they, as I have alluded in my presentation or in my sharing of my own story, these digital skills obviously do impact the way in which you're able to secure employment, whether self-employment or whether being employed by an SME or any other entity as well. They are very critical. Things. So it's not something to just, sort of look past or brush by and think that it's not for you. There's industries that you guys have probably heard about, agri-tech, which before at some point
was not there, fintech, so different industries that didn't before traditionally have a really heavy reliance, like agriculture, reliance on technology, have now moved into that space. So with your digital skills, you can still be in the farming space. If you've ever thought, what can I do in agriculture? So all of these industries are all now looking for ways or thinking of ways as to how they could leverage or take advantage of technology. And if you do not have the digital skills, and yet industries are transforming in that way, you are in trouble. Because even if you yourself, you want to do something. I made an example, and this was what 2011, about the just updating a Facebook post. There was no AI or any of these, really, I guess, deep or complicated, technology, or maybe advanced. Complicated is not the word. Advanced technologies, right? I used technology at that time, those many moons ago, to actually get ahead or to have access to certain opportunities. And I think that you guys can too, especially that now we have, more advanced technology like AI. Okay, I almost wanted to say, can I get an amen?
I go to church a lot. So yeah, so the basic tools. I'm also not going to, really expand a lot on this, but I want to give you just the 7 tech skills that are said to be required for jobs and entrepreneurship. Again, I pulled this, from different reports from the World Economic Forum as well as the World Bank. Digital marketing. We know what digital marketing. I'm not going to expand on that. Data literacy. So understanding data. Right? Understanding ways in which you could interpret data. There's a lot of software online that could help you understand data. In fact, many of our even social media platforms, if you're interested enough, can actually give you data analytics and tell you what is happening
what on your page, how much engagement, But it really is about then you being able or having the interest in understanding how to interpret that data and what it means ultimately to get you ahead. So that's also another one. E-commerce skills, I think
A lot of young people in the country are actually taking advantage of this. E-commerce skills, of course, it would be shopping online or online shopping platforms. Someone mentioned Amazon. I'm not sure who it was. Amazon is an e-commerce, one of the biggest e-commerce platforms, across the world. But if you pay attention and you are open, to, I guess, opportunity, and you look at social media. So if you go to Instagram, and if you're there, of course, for the right entrepreneurship reasons, you also notice that there's been a rise of young people who are selling on what is called live shopping. Do
You guys know about live shopping, right? I'm not even like a social media person, but I know about live shopping. So live shopping is when they would be, showcasing whatever the product is live, and there would be people actually buying as she or the person is essentially showcasing whatever that product is. It was very, very big in China first, but it's also growing in South Africa. So you might want to go and research and really think about what that would mean for you, as well.
Another skill, cloud collaboration. Of course, these are platforms like your Microsoft, 65. I'm not going to go, deep into this. I think you guys, would obviously know this, but also basic coding or no coding tools. We have a lot of, tools that, again, young people are using, like Wix, to create their own platforms, their own e-commerce platforms or websites, etc. So that is also, another one of the 7 skills. And AI literacy. AI literacy would be being able to use ChatGPT. So one of the issues, or one of the I guess the not so great things
that a lot of people do when they use AI is that they think that AI is there to think for them or completely. You still need to know what you're doing. You know what I mean? So then you will not be able to spot certain things. AI should be like your ChatGPT, should be your assistant in I guess aggregating information that you know about. Otherwise, you will have information and knowledge on your. For example, this PowerPoint presentation, I used AI. But I fed it the information. No, structure it this way. No, it doesn't make sense that way. You have to know. In fact, there's been a number of cases internationally as well of lawyers that have used AI to for cases, and they, because they were not proficient in the work that they did, either not proficient or they were not careful enough, they found themselves in trouble. So even in every other industry, AI is not 100% accurate, all the time. So as you're leveraging that, you need to ensure that, part of AI literacy is to ensure, that you're able to use it intelligently, and that it still needs you out in it. And also AI doesn't have much compassion or human touch. So,
you still need it. So these are some of the tools that essentially power your Canva. Remember, in the beginning, I had mentioned that I have sort of put together a list of things, or a resource for you guys. I've asked Zelda to circulate this, and she will, because I know that you might not necessarily have all of this right now. But these are the tools that essentially will assist you, in empowering your hustle. So I just listed these. I had mentioned at some point Innovation Bridge Portal. If you focus right at the end, so Innovation Bridge Portal is essentially
a portal that is owned by the Department of Science and Innovation
and managed by the CSIR. And the purpose of that platform is to aggregate the entrepreneurship ecosystem so that it's easier for you as an entrepreneur to find opportunities that are relevant for your hustle or for your entrepreneurship journey. So they would share competitions, they would share whatever hub, in whatever place it is. So when you sign up on that platform, you would be able to identify resources that are relevant to your entrepreneurship journey within the space that you are in, whether sector or the area, geographic location that you are in. So that's what it is. You can go online. I think it's innovationbridge.info if I remember well, but you can just Google it. So I'm going to skip the slide and then go to the next one. I wanted to make an example of real stories of young people, or people that have, really leveraged, their titles. I mean, their hustles using technology. I'm sure these people, well, maybe particularly Lasizwe. I'm sure, that guy. He's a content creator. We know this, right? Went online, was doing these
comic, skits on, I don't know if it was Facebook or wherever. Sorry?
On YouTube, yeah, YouTube now. YouTube now. But I think he started on, I think it was Facebook. I'm not sure what it was. But he grew his following and now he's on you. Now you know him on YouTube, but that's not where he started. But essentially the whole point is, trying to give you examples of real life people that we know who started with tools that we have access to. I also had spoken about me starting on Facebook. Of course, I'm not funny, so I can't really do videos. No one is gonna watch, But he has that charisma, and so he was able to sort of, leverage that and actually use that to his advantage. You might not know Aisha Pandor, but you probably know Sweep South. Sweep South is an app. It is an app that connects homeowners to domestic, cleaners or workers. So it's like an Uber, basically. I've been a Sweep South, client since 20 whatever, for over 6 years or something. They've been around for a while. That's who they are. So if you don't know the founders, you would know Litabo Mokwena, one of my favorite entrepreneurs. He's the founder of Walk Fresh. I think they have a store in Sandton City and somewhere in Cape Town, I forgot. But he offers like a sneaker cleaning service. And now I saw an advert of his. He's now selling products that are suitable for cleaning your sneakers as well. If you ever run into a guy that has the most clean sneakers that are not new, but you look at those sneakers and you're like, yo, those are clean, that's probably Letabo. That's him. So that's one of the, yeah. And Sinentla Antla, who, started this ice cream, vegan ice cream, she was solving a problem that she had. Of course, we know that entrepreneurship is about solving a problem for price, right, or for cash, right? It literally is leveraging off of our our problems or pain, basically. You can follow these people, find out, what they're doing, how they're doing. But essentially, what I've done is also sort of put together relevant tools that were quite key in them building, their businesses. Education equals innovation. So there's a lot of conversation that happens. So I sit in one of the. I mean, I've also done a lot of stuff with government, particularly in the Nkangala Economic Development Agency, DSI, etc. And large part of the work that I do, because I had mentioned about the agency largely focuses on the entrepreneurship ecosystem. And so the big conversation there, even in the private sector or corporates, even in government, is this word innovation that has been buzzing for a very long time. But the real key to innovation is knowing. You can't really solve when you don't have the information, you don't have the education. When I say education, I'm not only talking about formal education. I'm also talking about education. You could, do online, certificate courses, etc. Again, there's a section here, I think, of some of the places where you can actually go to further yourselves and skills and get certificates, so that you get, more understanding. You can't innovate from a place of not knowing or cluelessness. You have to be intentional in acquiring information, acquiring education, and being proficient in whatever it is that you're saying. So if you're saying that you are a dancer, for example, there was, an awesome performance that was done here. What are other dancers doing? In our spaces, how are they leveraging technology? How are they asking those various questions, having to understand, the space, that you are in, and even from an entrepreneurial, perspective, if that is also your interest. So continuing to understand, Uguti, when I do this move, it's called this, and when you know what I mean, being very proficient in the space that you're in, you also allow people to also trust or gain trust in what it is that you are doing. But it's also a demonstration of passion, no? Yeah. So, and the former speaker, it's also spoken about branding, and you acquiring that education or that knowledge is actually part of your branding. Because when I speak to you, I need to hear things that I must ask myself, "With yo, this person really knows what they're doing. What is that? I don't, you know what I mean? Like you need to be intentional in acquiring the information or the education so that you can innovate from a place of understanding. I want to make an example. One of the errors or mistakes that was done by one of the biggest, I guess, philanthropy organizations. I'm not going to mention the name. So they went into this village or this place somewhere in Africa, and they went to go and build what is called common taps. So where, yeah, because they, from their perspective, they went there and they saw that women here, they walk so long, they have to go and get water, it's so far, let's build, let's drill. And then after a while, when they were doing, they're collecting their data, and checking, the uptake of this thing that they had built, spent millions of US dollars. They then found out that the women were still walking the distances still. And then when they probed further, they actually found out or discovered that the women in that particular space or village preferred to largely walk the long distances. Why? Because for them, it was time away from home, it was time away from the children, it was time away from the husband, and so they were catching up. So in the same way that you guys catch up when maybe you go to a restaurant or you go to a coffee shop or Shisanyama or wherever to go catch up with your friends and use that as your social time, that was that for them. Why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because it is very easy when you're not intentional in acquiring information and education or educating yourself. It's very easy to start solving problems that are your problems for other people. It's the same thing, same principle even in business, right? You don't just decide what it's a good idea. What tells you is a good idea is when you go out to the market. The market will tell you if it's a good idea or not. Which again is another point, just impromptu. One of the hardest lessons that I learned, in fact, in entrepreneurship, because the business I'm in now was not my first. I was solving for something I thought was just yabona la, this is it, and then when I went to market, the traction was not tractioning. It was just not happening. Why? Because it is the market. And so you see a lot of people winning these competitions by the Department of Tonton, and they're winning all the prizes, etc. Because the ideas, of course, they sound good in principle and on paper, and that's good encouragement, and good that people are win these things and they go out and they actually learn the lessons, right? Because it's not failure if you learn the lesson, and if you don't learn the lesson, then you failed, right? But then the only thing that gives you an indication as to whether you have a business, so you are in entrepreneurship now, is when the market is responding to whatever it is that you are offering, and then now you are moving into a place of being commercially viable. But don't be so married to your idea that you do not want to hear that this thing is not working. I've been, maybe I should change it. Listen to what the market essentially is saying to you. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in trouble. And all of that happens with education as well. And once you know that, you'll start being able to actually innovate for relevance, and not innovate because it's the buzzword and because the department said we are looking for X number of young people who win 1 million rand, for innovative ideas. The innovative idea needs to speak to solving a problem or to helping people sleep at night. In fact, that's how one of my mentors earlier on, in my past life, she once said to me, do you know what, she says to me, do you know what, I think she was in the eventing space, she was doing like really awesome, and she said, do you know what I know is a competitive advantage? It's not even the quality work that I do in these spaces, or that I'm able to convene people, etc. The competitive advantage or value that I bring is that whoever hires me or whoever gives me the contract, they know that they can sleep at night. They just show up because I know this one, I sleep very well at night. And that is a competitive advantage. In fact, when she said that to me, I was like, I'm going to adopt this. But also, again, it goes back to how you are persistent in being proficient in your task, in your craft or task or job or your business. If you don't do that, people will not trust you. They will not sleep good at night. And I can tell you right now that if you are that person, if you lock in, allowing a client or giving the client the benefit of being able to sleep well at night without worrying whether you'll be able to do that thing. I'm telling you, you can put whatever price you want to put on that invoice, but because they know, oh, what's this one? It's fine. I can take my bet on this particular person. They will not drop me. It becomes it is that valuable. You can literally name your price if you unlock that. All right, top 10 future skills I'd already mentioned. I spoke about, a lot about the tech parts and the platforms. Again, you will see some other resources, AI tools that you could consider. But these are also future skills that were named, by WEF. I call these your forever skills. Things that really, apps, algorithms, and trend, at least they outlive those things. And these are the skills, the analytical skills, being an active learner. I guess I think I probably overemphasized in my previous slide, about that. Problem solving. Can you solve complex problems? If you can solve that and you can crack that, I'm telling you, you are an asset. Everybody would want to work with you. If you educate yourself, you give yourself the skills, but you are a good problem solver. Because ultimately, everything that we're all trying to do. Every government department, every corporate, everyone is just trying to solve some problem. So if you are able to gain that skill in your field or your profession, then you also again sort of put yourself at a competitive advantage, in really building a resilient business, but also maybe if you want to be employed. Again, I'm not going to expand. Maybe let me speak on emotional intelligence. um, when the previous speaker Michelle, when she was speaking about branding, etc., a lot of the times as young people, the things that mess up our brands on social media, because that's where we're most active, no, is because of our lack of emotional intelligence. And because you think that you can engage in everything and with anyone and anyhow, it doesn't work that way. In fact, companies now, they actually go onto your social media and they look at who is this person. Because if you're joining a business, particularly a startup, an SME, you become an ambassador of that particular business. I think we know a lot of examples, both here in South Africa and across the world, where employees of different organizations were found in maybe in some sort of scam or some shady stuff, and the company was then in trouble. They would say the senior manager or the CEO of Sasol or the CEO of Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola now is in trouble. Not necessarily you as the person. And so they are very, very thorough now in making sure that they look at what it is that you guys are doing there. So you need to make a decision as a young person today. Uguti, what is the perception that I want to create when I'm online? What is it that I'm trying to, build? What's the legacy? I know with, young men, they're always talking about legacy. What is the legacy that you want to build? What's the legacy? And is your engagement online on these social media platforms, is it building, is it contributing to part of that legacy? If it is not, you need to make a decision today. You need to go to your social media and start deleting things. Maraga, if it is, swearing or cyberbullying people, if those are the kind of things that you want to be remembered for, if those are the kind of things that contribute to who you want to become or your brand, as she was saying, I guess then you can continue to do that. But if it's not part of your legacy, if it's not contributing, then we really need to check in, our emotional intelligence. And also because in the working space and in entrepreneurship, you work with so many different personalities. There's so many difficult people that you will work with. And if you don't have the emotional intelligence, you will take everything personal. It's not personal, it's business. It's not about you, exactly, ma. It's not about you. It's about getting the work done and solving the problem. But if we're going to be so stuck in self and not really be intentional in dealing with emotional intelligence or building the required emotional intelligence, you will forever be the person that complains because you know what? No one's going to want to work with you. We are problematic. That was the older sister part that went out. These are the. I'm a deputy parent, by the way, guys. I have 3 younger siblings. I'm sorry if I come across as. These are the top 10 AI tools. Again, I just put this resource, for you guys because I want you guys to walk out of here to do something, right? You guys I have been motivated. I have been motivated sitting there listening to the various speakers. At some point I was crying because I could relate to some of the things, you know. But we all, also want you to walk away and actually start putting, tasks, to action, as well. So here's where you can start. Go and experiment. These are just some of the, you guys know ChatGPT very well, but I have given you guys advice on AI. Do not rely on AI to be like, don't outsource your intelligence to it. Use it as an assistant. not as you and your whole brain. Again, these are some of the soft skills emphasis as well, quite similar to the first, but these I wanted to also sort of expand as to what they essentially mean. Being decisive is making bold calls without all the answers. So sometimes you will have to make very tough decisions, right? That maybe some of your friends are like, I we are porayas. What is this? They want you to go out. I sacrificed so much of my social time, so much of my social time. But if you start doing, the things that are uncomfortable now, and you make a decisive decision and you tell your friend, "Ukuthi, I know I really want to be with you because I do care, my friend, but I have a priority. But I'm committed to something." And I'm telling you that after a few years, after however long, you will see the fruits. Because if this, they used to say this saying a lot, and I thought it was so tacky. What is it? If you do the things you don't want to do now, and then later, I actually lived that. It didn't sound tacky anymore, because at some points I would cry and be like, "Oh God, why these responsibilities?" And then when I stopped complaining and started focusing on what I needed to do, I then started seeing fruit at some point. You see. So I'm not going to speak about that. You guys will also just refer to that. Entrepreneurship theory in practice. This is from a textbook from one of my favorite professors, who's my professor now, Professor Boris Urban, sorry. It's actually a book, a textbook. You guys can get it. You don't get it online. I'm sure you can also find it or locate it. But basically, it's entrepreneurship theory. I wanted to pull in some of the key concepts from that, so that you guys, really understand entrepreneurship, or what an entrepreneur is from, I guess, an academic, perspective, what it means and why it essentially matters for you. Maybe I'll just speak on two: acting under uncertainty. When I was doing that post, I was uncertain. I was just taking a chance. Do you know what I mean? I was uncertain, but I was willing to take that bold decision, and it turned out well. And the person didn't reply on that very day. You know what I mean? But it is about taking those bold decisions. Just get started. Just do it. That's essentially all I'm saying. Just do it. And if you hit a wall, go back to the drawing board. Do again. Go back to the drawing board. You know what you're doing? You're building resilience. Do you know what you're doing? You're gaining experience. You're gaining skill. And if you are learning with every time you hit the wall, you are actually, they don't call it failure, they call it paying school fees, because you have been schooled. But if you do not learn, then you have failed. That's the only time that when you start a venture, an entrepreneurship venture, or pursue a passion, would be called failure, when you learn absolutely zilch. So you need to take time to reflect on all the times that you had started to do something or wanted to do something and you hit a wall. Go back and what are the lessons? What should I now not do? What should I do better? What should I do more or less? Do you see? We're gonna we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Um, you are already an entrepreneur if these apply to you. So if you've sold something to earn your own money, if you've helped someone solve a problem and got paid, even if you have not necessarily gotten paid, you might be a social entrepreneur. But if you turned a talent, could be baking or these examples that I've made here, into income, if you've created a social media page for your hustle, if you've asked yourself, how can I make money from how can I turn this into something that generates me money? That entrepreneurial spirit is already in you. And I'm pretty sure that everybody in this room, if not 90% of the people in this room, have probably, so you already have it. Entrepreneurship is nothing new in with Africans. Entrepreneurship is something that has been done by our gogos from back when. Going to a lona, a farm, going to plant and going to the city centers to go and sell. That is entrepreneurship. We might not have had the language or the theories in practice for it, but that is entrepreneurship, the spirit of entrepreneurship. And what education does is that it hones in and really helps you, in sort of refining and growing yourself. My MC is already here. Maybe let me just. These are your next 5 moves. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to challenge you guys. These are the 5 things that I would like for you guys to immediately start within this week. So one is choose one tool file. We've already extensively spoken about that. Register and formalize your hustle. Use Biz Portal. We know about this. Less than 200 bucks. You can do that. Post what you do today. Share some of the things that you want to do today. Start being intentional in the things that you are sort of posting online, with the intention that you are trying or attempting or moving in the direction of building that legacy we spoke about. I will stop right here and say thank you for giving me your attention. Oh, and we can connect over there. We can connect on LinkedIn, guys. All right. God bless you.
I, Ilengo, Egopi, Enkumbuze Lokishi, Iyato, Epati, Pegano, Jempakati, Lengo, Escopi, Enkumbuze Lokishi, Iyato, Epati, Pegane, Jempakati, Eganti, Epati, I.
Thank you so much, Cindy.
I feel so bad for cutting off.
Nah.
Yeah.
Shit,
Sure you guys hate
but-
me right now, ne?
She had so much information to give.
Yes,
You
yes.
starting your business this weekend?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Not this weekend. I
This
mean
week-
today.
Today?
Yeah.
Ah, then I'm with you.
LinkedIn, I'm gonna be on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
First I have to clean off.
You must clean, yes, exactly.
but
Fix your
yes.
friend, yes.
But guys, as she did, what also really spoke to me is the fact that as an entrepreneur, you need to do what? Just do it. So if you have an idea, just do it. If it doesn't work, you go back, you come back, you do it. It doesn't work, you go back, you come back, you do it. You know why? Do we know why? Why?
Let's
Why?
say that again.
Number
Ingati,
one
this side here is a bit dead. I want to hear you guys. So, the future.
is in
Love
number one.
me.
Yes.
So now we're going to move on to our next segment. This segment is more of our alumni because, yes, we had our speakers who gave us motivation, tools on how to, better our craft. We are now going to move on to our alumni. Our alumni were part of the youth development program, what we call YDP. You know YDP?
No, please can you
Uh,
that one?
were you not part of YDP?
Oh yes. Oh, it's coming back to me. Right?
So we are products of YDP itself, the youth development program here at Sci-Bono Discovery Center, where he is a full stack web developer and I am a front end web developer. I prefer, I like design. I like making things look pretty. As for the data and, way too much for me.
Yeah.
So I would like to call upon our first alumni for today, who is, again, a product of Sci-Bono, part of the YDP ICT itself. He started his career or the opportunity here in 2012. Where were you guys in 2012? Grade 7. I don't know. You see, I was in primary, probably just playing with sand and stuff like that. So I'd like to call upon Mr. Martin Shabalala. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Are you in, man? Are you in, man? Are you in, man? Bam, the one. Are you in, man? Are you in, man? Are you in, man? What? Are you in, man? Bam, the one. Am I like you?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Martin Chabalala. I see it's 11:59, so just about going to the afternoon. So, just as I was sitting there, what came to my mind was, the value as well as the power that this youth development program has. And I think we shouldn't take that for granted, basically. Having all the speakers coming through, basically giving us, I would say, a tool set or a toolbox and a set of skills on how to navigate life, can be personal, be it from a corporate space as well as from an entrepreneurship perspective, basically. So just to give a bit of a background about myself, I was in the program 2012. It was still like a 4-month program. I was having a discussion with our instructor, Mr. Ezekiel, and he has just given me a brief update as to how it has developed and advanced, throughout the years. So it was called the IT Cisco Essentials at that period. We would go through a 4-month period where we would do extensive tests as well as content that we would go through, and then at the end, that's when you'd be writing a final exam. So what happened in the year of 2012 is that at the end of our program, I was part of the top 3 guys from the final exam. And then I got an opportunity to have an interview with one of the top IT companies, which is Dell Technologies. And then I managed to get a job there. So I started off as a frontline engineer, and then went through the ranks. And again, it goes back to what the rest of the speakers were saying. Through upskilling, resilience, making sure you invest in yourself. And then from there, I went through into becoming a level 2 engineer, pretty much being like mentoring the level 1 guys. And then within a space of a year, I was promoted to being a technical support manager. And that's where I was running in terms of the contact center space as well as operational excellence. And then 3 years down the line again, I got promoted to becoming a technical customer success advisor. And basically, what I want to leave you guys today with, I know you might have a question in terms of, looking at my career, you might think, it's been an easy ride. Well, it's not, and hence I made the 2 points when I started off speaking about tool sets that you've got, the power as well, and value that this program has. So there's 2 things that I want to leave you with today. It's basically what this program will equip you with in terms of going forward, be it navigating personal or your professional brand, as well as secondly, it's just around you as a person, what drives you as a person. So for me, I call myself a self-starter, because what I normally do is, if I go through any situation, I am normally able to get myself out of it, and it is through a certain experience that I went through in life. So I was raised by a mother, so we're 5 in the family, single mother. I was the last born, and I think just by watching her, raising 5 kids by her own, gave me a little bit of motivation to say, you know what, I want to get better in life, and I want to be able to make her proud, basically. So for me, it is that burning fire that normally helps me in every situation or circumstance that I come through. So what I want to leave you with today is, what is your burning fire that will help you drive excellence and drive improvement, as well as you in life, basically, to be successful. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. Guys, we're pressed for time, so I want to try and move it along. Um, bring on the stage our next speaker, who has a diploma in education, logistics, and supply chain management. For me, the first time I saw this individual, I was like a dynamite in small packages. But you know what? I don't want to say much. I think he'll do justice for himself. Please let's welcome to the stage Tokoloho Manareng.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hear this thing about dynamite all the time. Dynamite, what? Just us, all the time. That is true. That is true. Thank you, Edu Dance. I've never seen Nelson Mandela dance like that. Wow. Yeah, he's voting for the wrong parties. He's dancing. This Nelson. I'm actually on my lunch break, guys. My boss is asking me, how far are you? How far are you? And the only other place where I agree with all the speakers is in church. So today was very unique. I was like, yes, 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 the whole time. Um, Everyone that spoke summed up everything I wanted to talk about today. Um, I didn't prepare a long speech, but I wanted to talk to you guys about time. Everything that you're going to achieve in your life is going to be within the time that you prepare for it. You will never achieve anything that you don't spend time for. So I'm seeing that today we spend a lot of time entertaining ourselves and rewarding ourselves. We are focusing so much on this entertainment culture. There's nothing wrong with that, but your life can't revolve around being entertained and groove. I personally, look, dancing on tables. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to post it, but I don't want to give away too much. After a few glasses or two and there's a table and the speakers, I might be somewhere on top. you know? Um, but I spend a lot of time reading. I spend a lot of time looking at documentaries. I spend a lot of time researching. And because of that time, I'm always learning something new. And because I'm always learning something new, I'm always able to offer something, to the universe. Um, so I wanted to talk about time and inspiration. Um, it's very important, guys, to be inspired as a person because the way that nature works applies to how we live. Everything in nature has a process. Even you as a person, you have a process. Learning is a process. Healing is a process. Unlearning things is a process. So um, when I was in this program, were we in the same class, Minir? Were we? Was, ne? Okay. I think we look good. We don't look too old, ne? We're doing okay. Sharp. Um, this program did not teach me anything about marketing. And I work in marketing today. I'm a marketing specialist and I work with brands and I'm based in the US, but I live in Annandale, right? This program did not teach me anything about branding, about communications, about anything that I do today. But what it did is it opened me up to where I am today. So because I was in ICT and I was opening myself up to learning about things, then I got to see where I'm gonna place myself. So after doing IT, I decided IT isn't really my thing. But I found graphic design, I found web development. So all the tools that the Cindy was talking about today is what I use to do my job, right? And I'm gonna emphasize today, spend your time learning, guys. Spend your time learning. Allow yourself to be inspired. Allow yourself to learn. And what that's gonna do, again, being a person of value, I am able to make demands, and one of my demands is I demand to work from home. Okay, I don't want to go to the office. If I'm going to go to the office, you might have to pay me 3 or 4 times. I'm not getting paid enough to wake up in the morning and be cold. I'm sorry. But it's a demand that I can make because of my skill set, right? I'm turning down jobs. Others offer to pay me more, but then I don't want to go to the office. You can't do that if you are a limited person with limited skills, and all you do is every weekend you are doing edu dance. And edu dance is getting paid for what they do. And when are you doing it for free? Yes? So, yeah, spend your time learning. It's okay to be boring. It's okay to miss out. It's okay to be odd. You don't have to be an entertaining person. You don't have to be everyone's friend. You don't have to be within. We like to be within. No, be without. I don't know what the opposite of it is. But yeah, be inspired, guys. I wish I had the time to explain to you how it works in life when you are inspired. When you are, there's the red car theory that apparently if you're looking for a red car, then you start noticing red cars. Inspiration works like that. You'll start noticing opportunities. There are jobs as a marketer that I have heard today where a person was not proposing anything to me. They were saying something like, oh, um, this is going to take long for me to do because I've got to give my accountant this and I've got to give this to this. But from a marketing perspective, I'm thinking, why do you have so many processes for such a simple thing? Is there a way that you can streamline? And then I propose. And because I made the proposal, then I ran with the program, then I got the job. Do you get it? So if you are not inspired, you're not going to have the ears to pick up what is an opportunity. You're not going to be in there are certain rooms where you will be mentioned because of what you are offering in the world, right? So because of what happened years ago and I was inspired and I worked wherever I worked, I was able to I think it's a huge deal to be called as an alumni today to speak, which means my name was mentioned in my absence, to be a part of this great prestigious event. So I wish you guys all the best, but be very careful with what you spend your time on. When I was young, just a little bit of background, my dad used to count how many days he has seen me without reading a book. He'd be like, it's been 5 whole days. It's been a whole week. It's been a whole month. Because he used to worry, if you're not reading, what are you doing? So you're not going to achieve anything in life that you are not spending time harnessing. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Awukani bo. Guy, okay.
Harness yourself, put yourself out there. It's what I'm picking up. And I don't know if you've noticed, guys, there's a pattern. Our people have traveled overseas. I think I see individuals here traveling overseas.
Don't forget, yes.
Yes.
Don't forget Amazon, though.
Yeah, and Amazon.
Yeah.
So it's Amazon and overseas, right?
Yes.
Number one.
Now, speaking of the actual opportunities and, going into the world of finding jobs overseas, I'd like to just like detour a little bit from our alumni and then move on to a lady who is or responsible for ensuring that our job seekers, which is us, right? We're all looking for jobs, are we not? Right? Are we looking for jobs? Seems like guys are comfortable, but anyways.
People want to work from home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Want to work from home?
Yeah.
Yes. So our next speaker is responsible for that, making sure that our job seeking is a bit smooth sailing and obviously based on our skills, we are more directed into the right path. The next topic is entrepreneurship training opportunities for youth. And I'd like to call upon Miss Carol. Let's give her a warm welcome. You make us dance on tables with these songs. Ooh.
Afternoon, guys. My name is Carol Mabope, and I feel so honored to be invited here today. And I always like speaking to young people because you are the future, guys. So I am Carol Mabope. Like I said, I come from an organization, also a skills development training center that is based in Brakpan in Ekurhuleni. We've been existing for 40 years this year. It's actually 41 years this year. So we specialize in training the youth. Remember, as young people, we've been given gifts by God in different ways. Some people can, pass their matric and get distinction. Some people cannot. We've got people from special schools. So as a skills development training center, we close the gap where we actually say to young people, whether you've got matric, you don't have matric, whether you're a high school dropout, we know you've got a gift. So I've been working with Sci-Bono for 12 years this year. I actually started under the social work background, then I left it. Now I'm focusing on placing them in different jobs where I sit with companies and tell them how great they are because I can see them, I do the interviews. So as Siyabonga Africa, like I said, I brought a presentation. I don't know if they will be playing it. We are based in Brakpan, but we've got branches across South Africa. We've set up bakeries, we've set up small businesses across South Africa. So today I come to you because we've got pamphlet. We're saying to you, all we need to do, we need change agents. The fact that you're sitting here, you are a change agent. A change agent is someone who says, I don't care where I come from. I don't care about my background. I don't care about any qualification, but I'm going to change. I choose to change my life today. And how are you doing that? I'm so happy because every speaker today spoke about doing hustling, spoke about emotional intelligence. There are so many things that they talked about, and those things are there to build you. And all it takes is a mindset, and all it takes is you taking action. So, as Siyabonga Africa, we've got so many young people that are actually studying. They're doing their degree, but someone who's got a bakery. You're doing your degree, but you are running. You're selling perfume. You're an entrepreneur. The fact that you don't have a shop standing there, but you're selling at home, you're a business person. So, my motivation today, I'm saying, do not focus only on studying, but start doing something. Start doing that side hustle. Remember, if you do something today, your future self is going to thank you years to come. So, we were not given that opportunity to say, I want to go do computers. I want to go do this. You can do all those things. And the government, we've been working with social development and other partners for years where we've got people that are saying, I will sponsor so and so to do this certain course. And then all we need to do, we just need you to apply, come to us, do your course. Our courses are very short course. You go out with a certificate, you go out with a skill of knowing how to put yourself out there. So even though we are based in Egurleni, we've got so many people across the country that are joining our courses, even if it's online, because we don't want you only to work for someone, but we want you to run a business while working, or even come and say, Sis Carol, I want to hire you to come and do 1, 2, 3 and pay me. Because we know that we are raising young people that are very capable. So we've got pamphlets. We're going to leave them here because we're in a hurry. We're saying to you, come and join us. Come and join us. Come and set up that business. The government is there. There's so many funding out there that is waiting for you to apply and be able to hire so many people. We can make South Africa better, guys. So all you can do, just Google us, find out who we are, apply with us, come and join us. Let's do this. And I'm also going with my colleague, Tsogofatso Legodi. Someone spoke about volunteering today. She was one of my students today. She is running the small entrepreneurship, the SMME department, where she's in charge of all the small businesses across South Africa. So all the bakeries, all the vegetable tunnels that we've set up across South Africa, any kind of business that we've got under Siyabonga, she's the one that is running it. She speaks to them every day online, over the phone. She's traveling the country. All it started with her volunteering and say, I'm not gonna sit down. And I'm happy because she's your age mate and she's done it and she's going places. So I know I've got faith. The fact that you're sitting here today, oh, you can stand up, then they see you. Yes. So the fact that you guys are sitting here today, it gives me the fact that you are change agents. Even me, as older as I am, I'm actually studying. I left social work, I think 3, 4 years ago. I did first year, then I said, there were personal issues, I left it. But this year I registered, I'm not even continuing with social work, I'm doing my psychology now. Because I've seen that there's other greener pastures somewhere. And if I can sit and say, no, I'm older now, I can't, I'm not gonna get there. But I know I'm going places. And I know you can even go even more places across the world. And thank you guys and be blessed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That was very,
for
very
the bakers in the
informative.
house, but very veggie bona. Get her numbers, get her details. And guys, it just shows you that it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can start small, build yourself, and actually make something of yourself. You understand? So take that into account and know that anything is possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with that, we are now going to move on back to our alumni. I think you were going to introduce our next one.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about the next
Alumni, yes.
alumni is that he plays soccer.
He plays soccer.
Yeah.
I
I
wonder.
mean, imagine someone in 18, someone playing soccer.
Yeah.
That I think is a mixture for not disaster, but for something
For
great.
something.
Please, guys, help me welcome to the stage Tiro Museu. I hope I said his name.
Esikhwameni izolahleka ngibephinde ngazoyibona ayiphinde ngazoyibona.
Before Tiro begins, I think it's very important to know which team he supports, and he should think long and hard.
Pussy for life.
Born.
All right. Afternoon, everyone. I hope you've been all having a good week, though it's really cold. All right. So it's an honor for me to stand before you. I was once in this auditorium a couple of years back, just like you guys, listening to speakers, getting inspiration. And yeah, so I started here at Sci-Bono in 2019, the ICT, specifically doing the Cisco Networking Academy. So yeah, enable config T, guys. I'm sure you know that. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So after the academy in 2019, I was struggling to find work, so I was actually working as a delivery driver. COVID hit, so the program was also paused. So you got a bit demotivated. But what I did do is kept on practicing. So you guys have your tools like the virtual networking. What's it called again? Packet tracer. So yeah, guys, you had to keep on working. YouTube at the time, that's when we started getting a lot into the online stuff. So keep researching, keep building yourself up. Then yeah, eventually 2022, I got an opportunity to work at Superbet as a IT technician. So I was running around Joburg, fixing computers, reloading Windows. Did that for a year, and then I got an opportunity at a company called MacRoots, where I'm currently at right now. I'm working as a system administrator. So yeah, there I got introduced to a lot of things, especially cloud. So there was a time um, we had a bit of a situation and we needed to spin up a new cloud server. So usually that was done by one of our senior guys, and he had actually left. So now everyone was looking at me, and I just recently got my Azure certification, specifically the AZ900. And then it was all up to me to get it configured, up and running, um, certificates for the web browser, and then we had to get developers in. So going back to the 7 C's, so you had to be confident in yourself and believe that yes, I can do this. Even though you don't have the answers at the time, you still have to believe in yourself. You will be able to do it. Just keep motivated, do the research, just believe that yes, I will get this done. And then yeah, outside of work, like they previously mentioned, soccer player. So we recently got promoted into the Hollywood Bets League. Who are playing in the local association in Eldos. So and yeah, guys, I think so. Yeah, like I was saying, tech is not just for geniuses or people with expensive gear. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure isn't the be all end all, it's just the start. Like Cindy mentioned earlier, you only fail if you don't learn from it. So it's a school lesson, like she said. So you fail, it's a lesson learned. Go back and find a way to make it happen. And then, yeah, guys, I think so. Keep building, keep believing in yourself, because the world needs each and every one of our ideas. So, yeah, like the theme of today, the future is digital, the future is in your hands. Thank you, guys.
That's why
Thank you so much for that, Tiro. Oh, I also checked in your bio that you also do your drone pilots itself. I too am a drone pilot, maybe we can collab, we can get more skill from you.
Ah.
Yes.
Don't forget it's still Kaiser Chiefs fan too.
Kaiser Chiefs, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about soccer, so yeah.
Best team in South Africa, by the way. but
Okay.
between-
Kaiser Chiefs, best team in South Africa, yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so like to introduce the next speaker, Amanda Mpongwane.
Good day, everyone. How are you feeling today? I'm good. Yeah, I'm kind of nervous. It's my first time standing in front of people like this. By the way, I'm Amanda Mbongwana from Lenasia South. I must say it is a privilege to be here today, especially in a place that played such a meaningful role in my journey. I completed the networking program here at Sci-Bono in 2022. And just like any other young people, I was looking for directions, for skills, and most importantly, for opportunities. And after the program, 2023, I joined a technical support leadership at Makwa IT. And through dedication, hard work, and consistent and story standing here today as a living proof that skills do change lives. The world is changing fast, and it is the right skills that open the doors. But it is not only about learning, it is also about believing in yourself and taking chances that come your way. So to you, my peers in here today, I just want to say, stay committed, stay alert, continue study, continue growing, because the world needs your talent. And I also want to take the opportunity and thank Sci-Bono for believing in youth and being a launchpad for many of us. And I also want to say thank you to anyone in here who continues to invest in youth skills and development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
I think this is why I did not want to say anything much because I think she did herself justice, as shy as she is. But I think she did well, ne, guys? And another thing
Mhm.
that really sticks with me is the fact that this industry is known as a male-dominated industry.
Yes.
So to see her reach such heights, it's really warming.
Yeah.
And I think for females, right?
Exactly. Woman power. Yeah. Mm. Okay. Now on to our last item for the day. We are going to call upon a representative of D Lab. Miss Ayanda, who's then gonna give us, the opportunities that D Lab has. And again, woman power, ne? Woman power. So can we please welcome on to stage Miss Ayanda? Let's give her one round of applause.
Um, I was taken aback a bit by the screens, and I'm like, do I have a trending video that I don't know about? Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Ayanda Orai, and I am the program manager at DLab. So, at DLab, our mission is simple. We aim to help young people thrive in the world of work, in entrepreneurship, or in their academics. Um, Let me break it down for you. So, DLab started in 2022. And the problem that we had found was that we were working with all of these corporates, right? And whenever we would sit with them to say, why are you struggling to find the right talent for the positions that you have in your organizations? They would always say, people have studied, people have gone to school, but we are not finding people that have the right characteristics. We are not finding people that are showing up, and we are not finding people that are taking their futures into their own hands. So clearly, between what is happening at school and what is happening in the world of work, somewhere in between, there is something missing. And that's what we sat with. We sat to say, how do we then bridge that gap in between school and the world of work to ensure that young people are ready to thrive in the world of work? So we created a program that focuses on upskilling young people. And not only that, but also focusing on the person, right? Because often you'll get all of these courses and you'll study and you'll get all of these certificates. But then you get to the world of work and then you find that actually I'm not coping emotionally. I can't take the stress. It's just too much. And you're unsure of how to navigate that world. So we've put that into the program where we work with young people. We have facilitators that sit and speak to the students and teach you how to then deal with all of this. I loved that most of the speakers that came up to stage spoke to you about the skills of the future, where they told you these are the skills that you need in order to make it in the world of work. And as I looked at all of that, I was smiling because every speaker that has come up here today has spoken about something that we cover at DLab. There is no speaker that has come up here and mentioned something, and I was like, well, actually, I feel like that is missing. So maybe just to go back a bit, I grew up in Orange Farm, right? And anyone that knows Orange Farm, you know, right? And that is a reality that most people in the country live with. That you're growing up in these areas, you're living in these areas, and what you see around you is not very inspiring. And it doesn't really give you a lot of hope. And you end up thinking, well, if I can just finish school and I can just get a job, right? And it's not easy to get inspired. And that's why in our program, we have a internships where we take people into the world of work where they see how things actually happen and the opportunities that are available for young people in South Africa. Because when you're in those situations, it's very difficult to know what's happening out there. So, in our program, we have a mentorship program where we pair our students with a mentor, people that are in an industry, people that are running their own businesses. And these are now the adults that you can speak to and start to have those adult conversations with. Because remember, if you're in a situation like the one that I was all those years ago, there isn't really someone that you can go to and speak to and say, you know what? I'm really not sure of how to use AI and I'm interested in doing this. But having a mentor means that you can now take all of the ideas that you have and you can start to build your own network. These are the people that you can now link up with after the program and say, this is the qualification I have now. So where where are we going? Because remember, someone earlier mentioned connections, and you need to know people, right? You need to stand out. When you are at an event like this, when I leave, I need to remember that, you know what, in that row, there was a young girl sitting that had this color jersey on. I need to know who that is. So you must be doing something to stand out. And it's very difficult because then you need to find where the line is between being performative and showing up. So you need to make sure that you are always engaged because that is how we spot the right people for DLab. We don't do the recruitment process that everyone does where you write a test, if you're pass, you in the program. No, because we do not believe that you necessarily have to be a top achiever to be the most successful. We believe that you need to be the person that's willing to work and willing to learn. So I'm really not going to take up a lot of time because I am aware that we are over time. We have a store outside, and if you want more information, if you want to find out how to apply for the DLab program, then you can just come and we will assist you. But all I am going to leave you with today is to say that since 2022, we've supported over 160 young people, right? And we have 3 centers currently. We have a cohort that is here at Sci-Bono Discovery Center, one that is in Nelspruit in Bumalanga, and one that is in George in the Western Cape. So what I'm saying to you is you need to make sure that you go out, you find that information, and you make sure that you get whatever it is that you need to make a difference in your own life because nobody's coming to save you. Thank you.
Chala senzi plan. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, Amanda. And as she spoke, if you guys, obviously you're interested, right? You wanna go check out and visit her, take some selfies. You saw her famous, Joang, I get. And yeah, Amanda, I did find your video, but we'll talk after. Yeah, we'll talk after.
Ayanda, Kiwis, Ayanda. Okay, so now we have come to the end of our program today. And did you guys have fun? You sure? Was this informative for you guys? I guess we do have like we're gonna go with a lot of information, start our businesses, fix our brands, our images and all of that, right? And what was the theme again today?
The future is in your hands.
Let's say it all together.
The future is in your hands.
Lovely. So we want to have a heartfelt thank you to the Cecil Foundation and Department of Economic Development for making this possible and sponsoring us. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, I'm not sure if you guys noticed that we got new drip, as you can see.
Oh, nah.
Bravo.
It says matric.
Right.
Started from the bottom.
Yes. So as you can see, we have our own goodie bags already, right? I'm not sure. Do you guys want goodie bags? You sure? I think there's money in here. Do you think there's money in here? There's money in here?
Yeah,
There's money in here. Guys, so our goodie bag has goodies in it. And then let's not forget another thing that we have is a special voucher. Angitha, I said we're gonna have money. There's the money. So yes, thank you guys so much for taking your time and coming to this event itself. From me, while my presenter is there busy, do you guys have any questions for any of us?
Yeah, that's gonna be, yeah, most definitely.
You guys want to dance?
Yes.
I don't know if the DJ is gonna.
But before we do that, just a quick announcement. Nida is here, so please, can you make your way upstairs when we leave the auditorium, and then do register with them, ne? National Youth Development Agency.
Yes.
Aha! Remember, the future is in. Bona, we got with the program. And again, I think on behalf of my lovely, wonderful looking colleague and myself, thank you guys for being with us. And we'll get to you just now. And in closing, I'm just gonna quote a good mentor of mine. Some of you guys know him as Bra Eddie.
Oh.
My brother in arms, my brother from another father. He once said this quote to me: never forget to celebrate yourself. You understand? Because you are the most important individual in your life. You understand? You are the one that makes yourself trend. You are the one that makes yourself relevant. So if you don't do that, no one will. So you always are your number one. You're your number one fan. Langtola. On that positive note, DJ, people want to dance.
People want to move.
Oh no, we had a question before. Sorry, yes. Sorry.
Oh, on that note, I believe then we can try to get our presenters to then send in their presentations, and then we'll try and find a way to give it to you guys. But yeah, we can definitely talk afterwards, you know? Yeah, so I don't know, DJ, are you guys ready?
Any other question before? Yes.
You can
Yes.
dance for them. In fact, everyone must dance for their bag. You know? Yeah.
But let's hear a
Dance
question
for their
before.
bag.
Yes. We talked. Take me a picture.
Nkosi enumusa namanxeba ngiphe isineke ngendlela esutheluni mlilo ofuthayo isithasame esuthela uthando uthando luningi